The following presentation is the overview of the results of a productivity analysis for the SRP Plano project. Here we see the agenda for the presentation, beginning with the information for the project, followed by the site and logistics plan, then going into the overview and results of the activity analysis, and finally the overview and results for the activity improvement portion. SRP Plano project is an assisted living center that is being constructed in Plano, Texas. The three-story facility is being built for SRP Medical out of Dallas. The general contractor for the project is Rogers O'Brien Construction, and the estimated completion date is July 20th, 2015. So in this slide we see an overview of the site. To the east of the project and to the south is Greenfield. To the west is an existing memory care facility. The trailers and offices and storage connexes for the subcontractors is located to the northeast of the project. As you can see, the materials and tools are mostly stored in the fire lane surrounding the project, which does result in a lot of downtime, traveling and waiting for tools and equipment that will come into play when you see the observation results. So here we see the results of the activity analysis observations. There were 20 rounds of observations recorded. Those observations covered concrete formwork, concrete placement, electricians, plumbing, and steel erection activities. In this slide we see the results of the activity analysis observations, which resulted in 34.57% of direct work observations. So here we see the results from the activity analysis observations. The two largest non-direct observations were traveling at 16.09% and waiting at 19.78%. With respect to traveling, opportunities for improvement would be the planning of how the materials and tools are being stored and staged around the site, making them more conducive to the actual work locations. And the waiting, the majority of the observations revolved around the concrete subcontractor. This project superintendent had discussions with the ownership of the concrete subcontractor about their performance and productivity. This was a first-time sub for Rogers O'Brien, and discussions were had about them securing future work with us and how their performance on this project was impacting that. For the 5-minute rating portion of the project, the observations involved an 8-man crew from Alabama Steel Components. Their scope of work was setting the load-bearing cold-form metal frame wall sections that were prefabricated and shipped to the job site. Here we see the site plan for the wall section installation. You'll see at the center of the screen the two exterior wall sections that are ready for install. To the north of the project, you'll see the storing for the bracing that was used to secure the wall sections to the floor and to prior installed panels. And then also to the north, you'll see the wall sections themselves. Note again the distance that the material is from the actual installation, which goes back to the activity analysis observations, contributing to lost productivity due to traveling and waiting. This slide shows a sequence of the installation of the wall sections themselves. In the first slide we see the panel moving from its stored position over into the install position. In the center slide you see that the panel is being put into place. The men are adjusting it and getting it into position ready for securing it. And then finally we see the men actually securing the wall section and removing it from the rigging for the operator. Here are the actual observations of the installation of the wall sections. It shows a significant amount of downtime for the rigger, for the individual responsible for shooting down the subsill foam. And then at the beginning and at the end of this cycle, there's a lot of downtime for the individuals responsible for the bracing, as well as for the actual install of the wall section. In reviewing these observations, the proposal would be to reduce the manpower of the crew by 2, merging bracing and rigging activities and bracing and subsill foam installation activities to reduce the amount of downtime and to increase the productivity of the rate of the overall crew by reducing the manpower. This concludes the presentation of the productivity analysis for the SRP Plano project. My email is shown on the screen if anyone should have any questions or comments regarding this presentation. Thank you.